mother by the name of Stacey Feeley broke down after she caught her 3-year-old daughter standing on a toilet. So at first she thought it was cute and she took a photo of her. Let's take a quick look at that. And then later she asked her daughter, who seems to be a little more rambunctious than other 3-year-olds, why are you standing on the toilet? What are you doing? So here's what she had said to ABC News. I said, "What are you doing? Why are you standing on the toilet?" When her daughter replied, "Lockdown. You have to be really quiet," Feeley said. "It just broke me down." So she says that her 3-year-old is being trained to have the proper response or reaction to a mass shooter. She doesn't think that her daughter really understands what a mass shooter is. She just knows that it's a person who's going to come into your school who shouldn't be there.
And when they say go on lockdown, if you're in the bathroom, you stand on the toilet.
You stand on the toilet, yeah. And she says, it is just heartbreaking when you think that in today's world, that's what they have to walk through, and that is what a normal, everyday drill is like now. Politicians, take a look. This is your child, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, and future generations to come. They will live their lives and grow up in this world based on your decisions. They are barely 3, and they will hide in bathroom stalls standing on top of toilet seats. That's what she actually wrote on a Facebook post about this. When she wrote about this on Facebook, she didn't think that posting the picture and writing that message would go viral, but it did. It got a lot of attention. And of course, it was a response to the shooting in Orlando where 49 people were gunned down at a gay club. So I feel her. I feel like if I had a 3-year-old, if I had a child and I came across that action, her going through a drill like that, it would scare the hell out of me. Regardless of what you think about gun control, just knowing that your child has to prepare for that because of all these mass shootings that are happening in the country would worry you, right?
Yeah. So stories like this are so important, especially to share around, right? So we have tried to throw statistics at politicians, and I think there's been so many different articles ran and statistics and numbers thrown at people that say that this is atrocious. The state that this country's in terms of the amount of mass shootings and how regular they are, it's atrocious. But again, it doesn't get anything changed. It gets certain things moving, and it gets everyone sending out their thoughts and prayers. Thanks for the politicians for that, but it doesn't get them changing as much as they need to. But stories like this, you have a young girl here, vulnerable, doesn't know what gun control is, doesn't know what the NRA is, and she has to just sit and observe what the teachers are telling her to do to deal with a situation which she has no idea about. She has no idea who a mass shooter is. She has no idea of the severity of the issue. But according to her, a daily ritual now is to stand on top of a toilet in order to protect herself in case someone comes in, a maniac comes in and takes action. So that's where it really does hit you in the feels, because that's where I feel it's most vulnerable. When I think about my kids in the future and I think about other, I would say, children that have to go through this life force, if it happens to fall along the same path, if it happens to go along the same route, that more and more kids are going to have to be prepared. And certain politicians want this to be the future. Certain politicians will take this and they'll see it as a positive sign. Oh, it's good, we've got to get them trained. What's next now? We've got to get them armed. We've got to get them ready to send them to schools if they're going to war and get them ready for what's coming up. Like that's where it really gets frustrating.
Of course, I have a 3-year-old girl, and she, when the shooting at UCLA, and her school went on lockdown. By the time it happened, she was already out because she goes a half day. But it was like, so, it's this wildly tangential connection. But we get an email that because the school was kind of near UCLA, and they were like, just to be safe, we have locked the gates, we've locked everybody in, and until the situation is that way, we're going to hold and, stay posted, and everything's fine. But, and like, that's just crazy. It's crazy. I mean, I don't blame them, but it was like, but that's the world we live in, that as soon as there was a shooting, there was some guy, police didn't know they had him, he was a couple miles away, so schools instantly bolted up. And I'm sure that's happened to millions of families across the country, that have had their schools shut down by the thought that there might be a gunman nearby.
I mean, and also what's always incredible to me is the reaction that you get from people who have young children but who are huge gun advocates, right? Because their reaction to it is, oh, well, the only thing we need to do is make sure we arm the administrators or the security guards or whoever at the school, and that'll protect the kids. So the reaction to a mass shooting in a school or at a club is, hey, let's arm more people. I mean, I don't want anyone armed anywhere near the school, right? And it's just a scary situation because I got to be honest. I mean, whenever I get into discussions with my fiance about whether or not we're going to have kids, I think about situations like this. I think about climate change, first of all, right? Because we're already feeling the impact of climate change now. Imagine what generations after us are going to feel. But more importantly, we're nowhere near coming up with a solution to our gun problem, right? Thankfully, there was that sit-in among Democrats, and they made a statement, which is good, but they still haven't gotten anything done, right? And of course, there's a huge political component to that, which everything's about politics. But it worries me, and it pains me to know that there are so many families and parents throughout the country who are genuinely worried about their kids going to school.
I mean, look, we got 20 kids got murdered. They got brutal. They got chopped up. They got carved up, and we didn't do anything. We're never. It's not going to happen. We're not going to do anything. I mean, yeah, it's all politics. I like politics. Politics is how you get stuff done. That's how you make change. Social Security Act was politics. Civil Rights Act was politics. Politics can be good. But right now, they're too powerful. This was a really encouraging week to see that sit-in, which disrupted the as Paul Ryan's shock and dismay at this august body. The rules aren't being followed. Hey, man, sit down. So I loved that. And at some point, maybe it'll change. But the notion that our big change, our big moment is going to be that we're going to keep people on the terror watch list, from buying guns. Like, I don't even want that to happen because it's too minimal. It's too like that's the step we're going to take. No, the steps need to be, it's okay. Here's what we can do. We can ban all assault weapons. Ban them. Make it illegal to own one. Give people 3 years to turn it in and then pay more money for it. Give them above market value for it. That's what big government can do, is make sure, hey, I know you don't want to give it up, but we will give you $1,700 for it and it's worth $800. That's the kind of thing we can do to make it attractive. But
that's a really good idea.
Right. So let's get rid of them, all of them. I don't care how many times it can be fired. Here's what you can have. You can have a rifle. You can have a handgun. I don't think you should have those, but I got it. I'm not going to win that fight. But if it looks like the Army uses it to go house to house in Afghanistan, then you can't have one. And it's not going to protect you when the Army turns on you because they have planes.